Good day, Money Masters and Treasure Hunters. Welcome to the Tom O'Brien Show. I'm your guest host, Steve Rhodes, filling in for Tom while he is away for the day. And folks, if you're not familiar with me, I kick things off for TFNN each and every morning at 9 o'clock. So if you are wondering where the markets are going, tune in to TFNN. Now, if you don't have us on a radio station in your area, all you have to do is go to your mobile device, go to TFNN.mobi. You'll be able to take us everywhere. You can also watch us on Tiger TV on your mobile device. You can catch the archives of all of the shows. My show that I do at 9 o'clock, the opening call, Trader's Edge, you can get that on Channel 9. And each day, Tom and I do a show from 10 to 11 called The Money Masters Show. And folks, I absolutely love being here with you. I treasure your presence here today. My outcome is to help you to become a better money master. I'd love to be able to inspire you over the course of the next couple of hours, but mostly help you with a few bricks so that you've got a groundwork where we've laid the groundwork, I suppose, the road, so that you can lead an inspired life, folks, because I believe leading an inspired life is what it's all about. So let's go take a look at one of those tools. This is the tool that I call the Universal Quest. We each have it. In fact, it is TGIF Friday out there. And so often, folks, what happens, and maybe think about your day here today if it's winding down, coming to an end, but so often we find ourselves racing around to do what? To get ahead. To get ahead, we're always thinking so much about our next achievement that we really don't have the time to appreciate the in-between. And folks, happiness is not in the getting there. Happiness is in becoming. And happiness, folks, that is absolutely a universal quest for you, for me, for everyone out there. The road to heaven, folks, it is heaven. And the happiness that you're searching for in your future, it needs to be found today. Use today, use this weekend, just to reflect a little bit. Why? Because every day, if you take a few moments, you can sit back and you can enjoy the plateau that you are at right now. Why? Because soon enough, folks, you will be at a new plateau. We're going to talk about the plateaus in the marketplace. Can you talk about tests of swing points out there? You talk about a universal quest. There was a universal quest in the market. You had the Dow finish up 217 points. That was the laggard. That was only up 1 7/10%. You had the S&P coming in fourth or third place out there, up 1 9/10%, up 25.99. Why don't we round that to 26 points? You had the composite up 2 full percentage points. That was up $58.13. And leading and numero uno were the small caps, up 2.5%, 2 6/10%, really, up 19.88. Our call in number 877-927-6648. Would absolutely love to hear from you, especially on this TGIF Friday. So let's start off here taking a look at the S&P 500, closing out at 1390.99. What was it doing? The S&P, folks, couple of things. Hopefully you're watching us on Tiger TV. If not, catch the archive over the weekend. Just go to the TFNN homepage. You'll be able to catch the replay of this show. So I'm going to show you two different areas. The S&P really coming into an area of resistance. That resistance, folks, just simply take a look at the trend line. The trend line that I'm talking about established back at the April 2nd, 2012 high when you had the S&P trade up to 1422.38. Your next touch point on this trend line is going to be the high, May 1st. In fact, May 1st was the day that the S&P was trying to get into today. Couldn't get into the lows. The lows there being 1395.73. I suspect that we'll see the S&P on Monday or early next week try to get up into that May 1st area. But what it's running into that overhead resistance. If I'm your pilot, I absolutely am turning on that fasten seatbelt sign, folks. What else did the S&P 500 do today? It got up and over the July 31st swing point. That high, 1387.16. 1387.16. No, it looks like it. No, let me see here. 1391.74. You see, I just have to look in the right spot. So the July 30th high out there, folks, sorry about that, 1391.74. You got up over it, meaning the S&P, closed down at 1390.99. Failure at that swing point. When we take a look at the SPYs are suggesting that it wants to go up and test that area. Let's go take a look at the Dow, see what the Dow is doing. The Dow getting up to a high today of, closing out the session at 13,096.17. We take a look at the Dow. You look at the swing point from July 30th, so we're going to be speaking about July 30th a bit. That swing point high, 13,128.64. The Dow actually gets to 13,133.18. 15 rejects that swing point high out there. I suspect the Dow will try to get up there again on Monday morning. Let's go take a look at how about the NDX 100 out here? You would think that the NDX would be a big mover and shaker out there. When we go take a look at the Qs, you're going to be surprised what you see out here. Now, take a look at the NDX 100. If you watch this on your chart here, what you are seeing is that what the NDX 100 did is it got above the July 30th highs. It got above the swing point high from July 5th. But what it was really doing, folks, was going into the huge downdraft from May 4th out there. The top of that is 26.8325. Got up above it, closed back below it. Not enough juice today. Certainly, as you're taking a look at these charts here, off of the June 4th lows out there, price has been moving in a rising price channel. You can see that here in the S&P, not in the S&P, but in the NASDAQ 100 out there. The NASDAQ up against some overhead resistance out there. Let's go take a look at the Russell 2000. The Russell 2000, so I can find that on my screen here, closing out at 788.46. What was the Russell 2000 doing? July 30th, right? You know how we took a look at the S&P 500 getting up and over? Well, what the Russell 2000 was doing, folks, it was testing the lows of July 30th. The low being 790.24. It got up to a high, intraday high today of 791.09, closing out at 788.46, rejecting that swing point as well. Now let's go take a look at the ETF structure out there. Let's start with the SPYs. What were the SPYs coming into? The SPYs coming into the downdraft. That downdraft of May 4th had 193 million shares. What do you do today? You do it with 146 million shares. Not enough juice. The actual candle that it did get into and it did close inside was the prior session. That was May 3rd. That had 143 million. So that 143 going against today's 146. And what the SPYs really want to do, actually the SPY did it. The SPY got up. Okay, so here, let's take a look. The SPY got up into that May 1st swing point. The low was 139.63. It got up there. Let me make sure. Got 139.63. We said it got up to 139.64 by a penny. Gotta love it. Now that was 146 million shares going into May. Was May 3rd we were looking at. Let's see. No, going into May Day, that had 138 million shares. So 138, and today had 146. What does that set up? That sets up that the SPYs want to go test that May 1st. Perhaps that May 1st high, that would be 141.66. It's going to need some more juice, though. Let's go take a look at the diamonds now. The diamonds here closing out at 130.73. Let's take a look at the juice, the move, the energy behind this move. Well, volume-wise, you do 6.7 million shares today. Oh, by the way, what did you do yesterday on the way down? What did it do, folks? 11 million shares. Down with 11, up with 6.7 million shares. The diamonds going after that July 30th swing point. Now, that July 30th swing point only had 4.2 million. But what the diamonds are also doing, they're going into May 4th, and I suspect that what the diamonds want to do is they want to go tag that May 1st high out there. That swing point low, 131.40. The swing point high, 133.14. Let's go take a look at the Qs, though. The Qs, folks, closed out the session here at $65.60. If we take a look at the Qs, here's the downdraft. Here's the volume in this marketplace. The Qs, if this is a real rally, are going to have to participate. They did not participate today. You take a look at that May 4th downdraft. You got a big gap out there. The volume, folks, on the way down on May 4th, 107 million shares. You know what you did today? It got up, tagged that area, closed back below it on 41 million shares. You do the math on that. 41 versus 107, less than 40% of the energy on the way up there. That, folks, is a telling story out there. Let's go cap this off. Take a look at the IWM. The IWM today closing out its session at 78.61. If you take a look at this little downtrend here, I suspect that that's what the small caps want to do. That'll get it up into the July 30th swing point. The IWM got in there today. That July 30th swing point, folks, has 35 million shares. Today, you do 49. That says it wants to get up there. It wants to tag it. It'll also tag the bottom of July 19th out there. What else do the small caps have? You take a look at the big downdraft day from April 10th, folks. 101 million shares. Does not have the energy to get up and over that area. 877-927-6648. Some of the movers out there. Mercado Libre up $16. To the downside, you had Molly Corp. We'll take a look at those stocks and anything else you'd like. Just give us a call, folks.